One relevant issue about the attachment system is the issue of attachment trauma. Unfortunately, quite very often, traumatic experiences that children suffer from happen inside the family, and they come from the person children are attached to. These persons are most usually male, and they are either fathers or other family members, older male family members, or close family friends, neighbors, persons children are very well acquainted to and very often attached. This is very probably the most dangerous, psychologically speaking, form of trauma because it has devastating consequences for the development and the functioning of the mind. Compared to, for instance, social trauma or things that can happen at school or at workplace, this has worse consequences because the attachment system has to adapt somehow to what is going on in the situation of abuse, molestation, or violence. Attachment trauma basically has three different consequences that are very significant and dangerous for children's development. The first one is that if a child is attached to someone, that person, being the secure base, is the source of comfort. Now, this person, who is a source of comfort, becomes a source of horror, pain, something that the child wants to avoid at any cost. So, the child has this task to somehow overcome the ambivalence of going towards someone who provides comfort and going away from that same person who causes pain. How is the child going to deal with this very complicated situation, which would be complicated for most adults as well? Well, there's unfortunately not much doubt. Children depend on their parents, children depend on figures of attachment, of secure-based providers, while at the same time children can survive, metaphorically speaking, without their minds. So the child will do whatever necessary to keep the image of the secure base as completely positive and do whatever is necessary to adapt their minds, their beliefs, opinions, perception even, and emotions, so that this person will remain completely white, completely positive. So this means that the child will have to split, to completely separate two parts of the psychological system. One in which there is a realistic perception of what is going on, and the other one in which the secure base remains positive only. The consequence of this is that the child will feel that the evil, the madness, the pain happens inside of his or her mind. As is very well known, many, probably most, of the victims of abuse believed that it was their fault from the very beginning, that they somehow deserved it or caused it. So children will start believing that either they are, in a way, evil when they can spread lies like this about the person who has done this to them objectively, or that there is something, that there is an even deeper problem about their, what we adults would call their mental health, so that they possibly are hallucinating this. This will all become possible, this will all happen if the child does not have anyone who will believe, acknowledge, recognize what has actually happened. If there is trauma and then there is silence or hypocrisy around children, they will have to blame themselves. This takes us to the second consequence of attachment trauma, and that is that emotion processing becomes superficial. If someone has been traumatized inside the family and then no one's recognized, this child will grow up into an adult who doesn't dare think about other people's minds or his or her own mind in any profound way. There is a paralyzing fear that if the child goes deep into the other person's mind, then children will discover that this person actually is a perpetrator. Or if they go deep into their own mind, they are afraid they are going to discover this Mordor of evil ideas about other people. So emotional superficiality becomes one of the problems. The development of what we call theory of mind or social cognition or mentalizing will be significantly flawed. One of the more contemporary approaches to this problem also suggests that attachment trauma leads to the devastating dissociation between the three basic functions that we all psychologically have, and that is thinking, emotions, and memory. So the victim of something like this will be able to use one of these at a certain moment, or two of these at a certain moment, but never all three. So you can think about something and remember very well what happened to you in childhood, but you don't feel anything related to this. Or the feelings are there, and possibly you can describe them and talk about them, but you have no idea where they come from, because memory is dissociated. So basically, these are three approaches to the problem of dissociation, of differences and inability of the parts of our psyche to communicate and work together that are all caused by the attachment trauma.